What's going on, guys? Uche Joku, and welcome to this episode of the Sneaker Principle Podcast. Yesterday, I heard a story about a teacher who is in trouble right now because they're being accused of plagiarism. And let me first, before I proceed, pull up the definition of plagiarism. So we're all on the same page here. Again, this is what I was told had happened. So it says here, plagiarism, presenting work or ideas from another source as your own, with or without consent of the original author, but incorporating into your work without full acknowledgement. So you're basically taking the work of someone else and claiming it to be your own. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. But wait a minute, you're the teacher in the classroom. So what did you plagiarize? What work did you take and claim as your own? And who did you present this work to? So apparently, the students in this teacher's classroom, I believe this is a high school, were working on projects, papers for a particular project that was going to be evaluated for their graduation. So this teacher utilized an AI platform. I'm not sure if it was ChatGPT or Genesis or any of the multitude of platforms that are out there right now. And it was taking the students' work and feeding it through the AI, and the AI was giving suggestions of how to improve their paper. And then he was then giving the students back the work with either the suggestions or the edits, the full edits of their original work, and said, this is a better version of what you presented. I mean, there were mistakes in there, it's been corrected. Here's a full completion of your work. And apparently one of the students felt uncomfortable about this, or several students felt uncomfortable about this, and reported it to administration of that particular school. And as a result, the teacher is being accused of plagiarism. And, there's some, I'm hearing that the administration at this particular school were indignant, and they were like, how dare, this is an affront on professionalism and academic standards. And don't get me wrong, plagiarism is a very, very serious thing. Taking credit for somebody else's work is very, very serious. But I sat there, I was a little confused, because I was like, I'm trying to find the words to really hone in on what I think about this, because the teacher utilized technology to streamline the editing process to ensure that this paper, with almost absolute certainty, is up to par, if not damn near perfect. Grammar, flow, syntax, and all those different things. Things that even some of the most educated professors miss when they edit papers. I've had the benefit of a very extensive education from kindergarten all the way through to college, 2 master's degrees, the beginnings of a doctoral program multiple times. It's just another story for another time. And even right now, I'm doing graduate work towards getting my further certifications in education. And I can say with absolute certainty that AI is being utilized, especially now, across education, even in higher education. And when I get a paper back that's been edited and I'm reading the feedback, and there's a way in the form in which the feedback is written that is very clear to me that this is generated by artificial intelligence. But it doesn't mean the feedback is wrong. Not at all. Because the feedback, when I read the feedback and go to my paper, I'm like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, that's very true. That would be helpful if I added that. That would be a good thing for this would make my paper so much more compelling, or this argument better evidenced if I did X, Y, Z as presented to me through the feedback. And but that's not taking somebody else's work. But if that's the case, isn't that all we do for the most part? When you're writing a research paper, writing doing any kind of work, unless you are a genius, that you've discovered some brand new way of looking at the world that has never been seen before, all we're doing is taking from other people, putting into our words, and regurgitating it. Sometimes we might have some interesting spins on it, but we still have to go out there and find somebody who's done work in the space that we're working in and use that to confirm or verify or validate what we're doing. So if you really think about it, and yes, we give credit, but I've read entire thesis papers and dissertations. They were damn near 100% taken from everybody else. Then they have like a list of 1,000 references to make sure I protect myself. This is where I got everything from. But then when you read to the bone and the meat of the paper, there's nothing there that is really authentic or original, that shows intellectual originality from the writer. Everybody and their mother can get a doctoral degree today. The number of people who have master's degrees are extensive. Bachelor's degrees are extensive. Once upon a time, it was something that was given to the best of us. The highest intellectual level of society got this level of education, or that level of education. But now, technology has taken us to another level. So, I'm sorry, I just went off on a tangent. So now, this teacher who's been accused of plagiarism, did they really plagiarize? Or did they make the best use of technology to be more effective in giving feedback? Have you ever tried editing 25 papers as a classroom teacher to make sure that every child is getting the best and clarity of feedback, actionable feedback? Maybe the first 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, you're gung ho. You're in that first cup of coffee. By the time you get to the 9th, 10th, 11th, you're in your second cup and you're tired. Your eyes are watery. You're blurring, and it's getting late. Before you know it, you get to your 20th and it's past midnight, and you're like, man, I still have to work tomorrow, but I still have to get this done. Or it's the weekend, and you're neglecting your children because you're, reading papers that might be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages long. But if I could take the rubric and add some other directives and then engineer a prompt, a series of prompts that allows what I'm looking for to be found in these papers and give suggestions on how to better align the paper to the rubric and be able to get each paper done so I can spend more time reading and making sure it's aligned and adding any additional feedback I want to add to. So I am clear in thought and energy as I'm going through all these papers, so I can get to students and know that to the best of my ability and the resources that I have, this paper in its best form would look like this. That's not plagiarism. That's being damn effective with your resources to ensure you're maximizing time, energy, and outcome. But again, I wasn't there. I don't know the totality of what transpired with that teacher in that classroom and what was given to the students. But it was definitely a story that gave me pause. And I was like, I just hope that the way I think it happened is what happened, and this teacher is not punished or having their career in jeopardy, but rather that they're running PDs for other teachers on how to be effective in the use of technology to ensure that student work is up to par. And don't get me wrong, I am almost positive of those papers that were presented, there were probably a few in there. There's some really, really smart kids who've gotten really comfortable with AI, probably utilize AI in the formation and the editing and the articulation and all the good things in creating their paper and submitted it. I'm pretty sure of it. We're in that world right now. How are we making sure that we're maximizing and articulating new processes and systems to ensure that we are maximizing the use of these technologies in the way that makes us better intellectually? Because I am not in agreement with just plain old just asking AI and AI gives you an answer and you're like, this is my work. Yes, that's plagiarism. It's not even plagiarism. That's just like, at least plagiarism, you actually did the work to go find, the source that you didn't cite. AI is just being lazy. But now if you use AI in a way where it's a partner with you in the process of collecting and building intellectual product that you can verify and confirm that's in line with the intended outcome, then we're talking about progress. Call to action. What are the policies in your school, in your space around technology, AI, whatever it may be, in the tasks, the products that you're asking students to create? Are you embracing AI and now expanding what the task process looks like, incorporate AI? Or are you just saying do not use, do not use, do not use? Are you afraid of AI? Are you, like a lot of people are saying, I'm not ready, this is moving way too fast? Please share in the comments, let me know. But before I go, remember this. Some of you might not remember, but I do remember. I remember the argument about calculators in schools. Like, should we be using calculators? I remember that very clearly. Parents, teachers, it's gonna make the kids lazy. Okay. Calculators are not acceptable, it's a mandated tool in doing math these days in a lot of state exams and even certification exams that involve math. The internet, I remember when the internet was like, oh my God, blocked in every school. Now it's wide open and it's a learning tool. I mean, we use Google Classroom. Kids have devices. Once upon a time, no, you cannot have your laptop in school. You cannot have an iPad. It's a distraction. Now it's a normalized tool. So if we don't recognize advances technology as being part of the process of evolution in how we teach and learn, then those who do embrace it will outpace us. And it's not schools, it's communities. It's communities. There are certain communities who embrace things way earlier than everybody else, and they thrive. And there's those communities who never quite embrace it, and by the time they recognize what's happening, it's too late. What community do you work in? Well, this is Uche Njoku, Sneaker Principal. Thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you soon. Be well.